The ground you're standing on is just a thin crust floating on a sea of molten rock. Right now, beneath the surface, magma churns at over 2,000 degrees. Pressure builds in underground chambers, and sometimes that pressure finds a way out. Volcanoes are Earth's way of reminding us that our planet is very much alive and very, very dangerous. A volcano is an opening in Earth's crust where magma, gases, and ash escape from deep below. When magma reaches the surface, we call it lava. Volcanoes can be mountains, cracks in the ground, or even underwater. There are about 1,500 active volcanoes on Earth right now, and around 20 are erupting at any given moment. Earth's surface is broken into huge pieces called tectonic plates that float on the mantle below. Most volcanoes form where these plates meet. The Pacific Ring of Fire, where plates collide around the Pacific Ocean, contains 75% of the world's volcanoes. When plates push together or pull apart, magma finds pathways to the surface. Not all volcanoes are the same. Shield volcanoes like Hawaii's are gentle giants with flowing lava. Stratovolcanoes like Mount Fuji are steep and explosive. Cinder cones are small and made of rocky fragments. Calderas are massive craters left after supereruptions. Each type has its own personality and danger level. Deep underground, rock melts into magma. As it rises, pressure decreases and dissolved gases start to form bubbles, like opening a shaken soda bottle. If the magma is thick and sticky, gas can't escape easily, and pressure builds until boom! Thin, runny magma lets gas escape gently, creating flowing eruptions instead of explosions. Scientists measure eruptions on the Volcanic Explosivity Index from 0 to 8. Each level is 10 times more powerful than the last. A VEI 0 is basically a lava ooze. A VEI 5 is like Mount St. Helens. A VEI 8, called a super eruption, hasn't happened in over 26,000 years. When it does, civilization itself could be at risk. In 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius erupted and buried the Roman city of Pompeii under 20 feet of ash. About 2,000 people died, preserved exactly as they were in their final moments. The city was forgotten for nearly 1,700 years until archaeologists uncovered it. Vesuvius is still active today, with 3 million people living in its shadow. In 1883, Krakatoa in Indonesia erupted with the force of 200 megatons of TNT. That's over 13,000 times stronger than the Hiroshima bomb. The explosion was heard 3,000 miles away in Australia. The shockwaves circled Earth 4 times. Tsunamis killed over 36,000 people. Global temperatures dropped for a year. In 1980, Mount St. Helens in Washington state showed that volcanoes aren't just ancient history. After weeks of warnings, the mountain exploded sideways, flattening 230 square miles of forest. 57 people died despite evacuation orders. The eruption reduced the mountain's height by over 1,000 feet. It could happen again. Regular volcanoes are scary, but supervolcanoes are extinction-level events. A supervolcano can erupt with over 1,000 cubic kilometers of material, thousands of times more than normal volcanoes. The last supereruption, Toba, 74,000 years ago, may have reduced humans to just a few thousand individuals. We almost went extinct. A Yellowstone supereruption would be catastrophic. Everything within 50 miles would be instantly destroyed. Ash would bury cities hundreds of miles away. Crops would fail across the country. Global temperatures could drop for years, causing worldwide famine. Millions would die directly, and billions could be affected. It's the worst natural disaster imaginable. Lava is actually one of the slower killers. The real dangers are pyroclastic flows, superheated clouds of gas and rock, traveling at 400 miles per hour. Also deadly, lahars, volcanic mudflows that bury entire towns, volcanic gases that suffocate, and ash that collapses roofs and destroys lungs. Volcanoes have many ways to kill. But volcanoes aren't all destruction. Volcanic soil is incredibly fertile because it's rich in minerals. The Hawaiian Islands exist only because of volcanoes. Iceland's geothermal energy comes from volcanic heat. Early Earth's volcanoes released the gases that formed our atmosphere and oceans. Life itself might owe its existence to volcanic activity. Despite the dangers, over 500 million people live near active volcanoes. The fertile soil is perfect for farming. The scenery attracts tourists. And honestly, eruptions are rare enough that people take the risk. Japan, Indonesia, and Italy have thriving populations near volcanoes. Humans are remarkably good at ignoring long-term risks. Can we predict eruptions? Sort of. Scientists monitor earthquakes, ground swelling, gas emissions, and temperature changes. We can often tell when something is happening, but exactly when and how big is still guesswork. Mount Pinatubo in 1991 was successfully predicted, saving thousands of lives. But we can't predict everything. Nature keeps surprising us. Most volcanoes aren't on land, they're underwater. Over 75% of volcanic activity happens on the ocean floor at mid-ocean ridges. These underwater eruptions build new seafloor constantly. The largest volcanic mountain on Earth is actually Mauna Kea in Hawaii, but most of it is hidden below the waves. The ocean hides Earth's biggest volcanoes. Earth isn't the only place with volcanoes. Mars has Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in the solar system, 3 times the height of Everest. Jupiter's moon Io is the most volcanically active body we know, with hundreds of erupting volcanoes. Venus is covered in volcanic plains. Volcanoes are a universal phenomenon in our solar system. Solar system. Large eruptions can change global climate. The 1815 eruption of Tambora caused the year without a summer in 1816, with snow in June and widespread crop failure. Volcanic aerosols reflect sunlight, cooling the planet temporarily. Ironically, while we worry about global warming, a major eruption could cause global cooling for years. Volcanoes will continue erupting as long as Earth has a hot interior, for billions of years. New monitoring technology will improve our predictions. We might even learn to tap volcanic energy more efficiently. But super eruptions remain a low probability, high consequence threat. The question isn't if another will happen, but when and whether we'll be ready. Volcanoes remind us that Earth is a living, dynamic planet. The same forces that create destruction also create fertile land, new islands, and the very air we breathe. We live on a thin crust above unimaginable heat and power. It's terrifying and beautiful. The ground beneath you is more alive than you ever imagined. Thanks for watching.